Yo, you're watching the Screaming Fish here, people. Once again, I'm here for you guys with yet another video, and this time, as you can tell by the clearly very obvious title at the bottom of the screen, we are going to be talking about Logan Lucky, or I'm going to be talking about Logan Lucky. You guys are just going to be watching me in your computer chairs, or couches, or beanbags, or whatever you guys sit on to watch videos. So, I'm not going to drone on this time or try crack a funny joke. I'm just going to let you guys get on with the review, and, yeah, let's do that. Let's put it this way, this is the movie that, judging by the fantastic trailers, was going to give Baby Driver one of Edgar Wright's best films to date and arguably the best action film of the year, a run for its money, and things seem to be going that way. I mean, look who this film is directed by. Steven Soderbergh, the man behind Ocean's 11, which in itself is considered by many to be a cult classic, and let's not forget to mention the cast for this film, which by the way is insane. Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, shut up and take my money! But does Logan Lucky live up to the hype? Let's talk about that. I don't think it's a big surprise that the cast are superb. Channing Tatum disappeared into this character. If I didn't know who Channing Tatum was at all, I would not even be able to tell that he was just putting on an accent. He is unbelievably good as this character. This is probably my favourite Channing Tatum performance since the Jump Street movies, and considering how much I love both of those films, that is really saying something. I think his character, Jimmy Logan, is a fantastic protagonist. He has a really enthralling arc and motivation in this movie that I won't spoil here because it is the driving force of this movie and the most important plot device, so I would not be doing you any favours by discussing that in depth, but I assure you, it's a really compelling story arc. He also put on quite a bit of weight for this role, which I really gotta respect him for. Adam Driver is perfect for the role he plays in this movie. He is the living, breathing definition of the word deadpan, but that is in no way, shape or form a bad thing. It actually makes for some great humour and comedic moments, and it's a brilliant trait of his character. I mean, who would have thought that this is the guy who played Kylo Ren? I would even say that Clyde Logan and Kylo Ren are complete opposites, and that's great, not because I don't like Kylo Ren. You kidding me? He's one of my favourite characters in The Force Awakens. I'm just saying it proves how vast his acting ability is. The best way I can really describe his character is that he is very understated. In fact, that is how I would describe this entire movie. Everything's very low-key, and out of all the different heist movies I've seen in my lifetime, this is easily the most grounded. This movie isn't characters trying to break into a gigantic building. They're not trying to break into this huge casino or rob the richest man in the world. These guys are going in with the most basic of tools to steal money from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and that was cool to see. One, because it makes these characters seem much more vulnerable, as well as raising the stakes to goosebump-inducing levels. And honestly, I just found it cool that instead of choosing to come up with some fictional company, Soderbergh chose to use a real company and location, which in my opinion made this seem a hell of a lot more realistic than it would have been had they gone with a more fictional location. Daniel Craig is the show stealer in this movie. Once again, he has turned out a brilliant performance, and this is some of his best work. I cannot get over how good he was as this character. He was so funny. Nearly everything this guy said had me laughing my ass off, and this is easily one of those characters where you cannot imagine anyone else playing that role because the actor that's playing the role right now just nailed it. The dynamic between Craig and the other characters also made for some equally stitch-inducing laughs, and that is one of the biggest praises I can give this movie. Logan Lucky is absurdly funny. The humour goes from subtle and awkward moments between the characters to joyfully random, and then goes right into an absolutely hilarious comment from Daniel Craig. Nearly every joke landed flawlessly, and I was laughing so hard. Riley Coe? I don't think that's how you say her name, and if I said it wrong, I apologise deeply. I thought she was really entertaining, she was really funny, and the scenes between her and Daniel Craig were definitely some of the highlights of the film's story, and I like the overall direction they went with this character. I also really have to say that both Jack Quaid and Brian Gleeson have given two of the best comedic performances of the year. They were fantastic in this movie, and the way their camaraderie was handled in this movie is just flat out brilliant. The actual heist is easily the best part of the movie. It's easily the most thrilling, entertaining set piece of the whole movie, and the movie cleverly mixes characters who know how to commit heists and those who do not, and the contrast really makes for some great comedy and some equally intriguing tension between the characters. It's an interesting concept that's not often explored in the genre. Sure, we get heist movies about people who are clearly professionals at this sort of work, and heist movies about people who are clearly not professionals, but this movie is really a mix of the two, and I feel that is what makes Logan Lucky one of the most original movies of 2017. Steven Soderbergh is a brilliant film director, and he really proves that with this film. The way the shots are composed adds a sense of quirkiness to the concept. Most of the shots consist of wide to medium shots of the characters doing things, which I would say is great for visual storytelling, and the editing is seamless. If I had to pick one flaw with this movie, I would definitely say that it does have some pacing issues, particularly in its first act. Things just moved a little too quickly, and at first it was a bit hard for me to quite grasp what was going on or what the motivations for these characters actually meant for the story. But outside of that, I found myself really enjoying this movie. Logan Lucky is one of those films where you can just get a bunch of friends, get some food and drinks and sit on a couch or something and just have a blast watching it. There's an interesting side plot involving Channing Tatum's daughter that I thought was really sweet, and it added an emotional depth to the film that I honestly wasn't expecting, and it really had me rooting for the characters all the way from start to finish. Also, the ending of this movie. I won't spoil anything for you guys, I promise, but the ending of this movie had me thinking, oh, okay, I get it now, I get it. I will say that the movie does end pretty openly. It doesn't just end like that with no promise of a sequel like I thought it would, but surprisingly, it left itself pretty open to the possibility of a sequel. Usually, I hate it when movies do this because how do you know the movie's even going to be successful enough to even get a sequel greenlit? But the way this movie does it not only left me feeling very satisfied with the overall cut of the film, but it also left me wanting more, and I'll admit, I was not expecting to feel that way when I left this movie. Logan Lucky is some of the best fun I've had in the theatre all year. It does have some pacing issues, particularly in the beginning of the film, and while to some that may be a very glaring flaw, and I will admit it does mean that certain elements and motivations aren't as well established as they could be, the film is still a blast from start to finish, with colourful characters, a great sense of humour, and it's arguably one of the most original heist films in quite some time. So, guys, those are my thoughts on Logan Lucky. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed the movie, even if it does have some pacing issues. It's a blast. You just get some friends, some drinks, some food, go to the cinema, and just have a blast. Trust me, it will be worth your time. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to skedaddle. So, thank you for watching this video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I will indeed see you guys in the next one. So, yeah. Bye.